So today I'm going to be talking about my birth plan. I'll mention what I'm about to say now. I will mention a little bit more in my 37-week update, seeing as though I am 37 weeks today. I'll try and get it done and uploaded today. If not, it'll be tomorrow. But I've had a bit of a problem with my water starting to leak, so a baby could be here like literally any time. So I thought I'm best getting it done now, just in case it does come. So you kind of know what my plans are. Obviously nothing might go to plan, everything might go to plan, but we don't know, and we won't know until that happens. So I thought I'd just go through it anyway. Still got a bit of a cough from the chest infection, but it's nearly gone now. So I am high risk, so unfortunately, as much as I would have loved to, I cannot have a water birth. I've always wanted a water birth. I wanted one with my first, I wanted one with my second, but both times I've been high risk, which means I am not allowed to have a water birth, and I have to go onto the delivery suite and not the birth centre to have the baby. So that's a bit of a downer, but there's nothing I can do, and you know, at least I'm in the best place possible there, so if anything goes wrong or anything happens, I'm in a place where there's plenty of doctors and what have you, so they can deal with the situation quite quickly. While I'm at home, I wish to use my well, it depends how it goes. If, say, I go into labour just normally at home, and you know, it's not one of them 20-minute deliveries and I'm labouring nice and not slow, but not too quick at the same time, I do hope to be able to stay home as long as possible. So if I can, I will be using my TENS machine at home. Obviously that's if the pain starts getting worse in my back, but I didn't have too much back pain with my first. It was just more in the front, so the TENS machine didn't really help as such. But I have been getting horrendous back pain through this pregnancy, so I'm guessing that I could potentially help. I'm sorry, a lot of back pain during my labour, so I've got that as like something that I can use at home, and I'm going to try stay mobile, walking around, and just, I don't know, go for a walk maybe. I was thinking of getting a birthing ball, but I haven't got one, so I just see it pointless buying a big ball that I could potentially not use at all or use for like 5 minutes. But I'm sure I can sit on a bunch of cushions and just bounce like you would on one of them anyway. I can find some other way of doing it. Once it's time to go to the hospital, I plan to labour for as long as I can until I need to take any pain medication. If I laboured and gave birth without anything, that would be fantastic, but I cannot see that happening. So if I did need pain relief, I would prefer to just have gas and air when the pain gets too bad. If, say, it does get any further than that, then I might consider pethidine, but I'm unsure, because what I didn't know about last time when I went into labour is pethidine can make the baby drowsy. And now Blossom, when she was born, she wouldn't breathe. They had to actually resuscitate her, and I'm wondering whether that was something to do with the pethidine and she hadn't realised she'd been born and it had made her drowsy. I don't know, it could have been any number of reasons, but I'd prefer to not have that. Nobody told me anything about pethidine or what it was. I just thought it was a painkiller and that was it at the time. Now I have more information on it, I'd prefer not to have it. I'd prefer not to have diamorphine either. So I would like to just stick to the gas and air if possible, and to go into the bath, because they have a bathtub there, and I'd like to spend most of my labour up until around 8 centimetres in the bathtub with some nice warm water, possibly my gas and air, and also have one of them wireless if they need to monitor me, where they put the straps around your bump to listen to baby's heart rate. I'm also going to ask for one of them wireless ones, because apparently they do wireless ones now, so you can get up and walk around, have a bath. You don't have to just be stuck on the bed, because with Blossom, when I was having her, when they put me on a monitor, it was like the labour became 10 times worse and way more painful, because I was just stuck on the bed and there's nothing I could do because I was hooked up to all these machines. And also they had given me, I think it was Pitocin as well, because I stopped dilating, which made my contractions 10 times more painful. I've had to write it all down because my baby brain is that bad at the moment that I'd say to like, what was I going to say? And I'll probably forget half of what I was meant to talk about. So if I keep looking away, I just have to keep looking at my notes. So as I remember everything that I need to say what I've written down. Under no circumstances whatsoever do I want an epidural. There's quite a few reasons. One being I have spondylosis in my spine. So I'm at high risk of becoming paralysed or having major back problems in the future, and I already have that spinal condition as it is. I do not want that to be made worse. Two, I want to be able to feel my labour, even though some might think it's strange to want to feel the pain. I do want to feel the pain. That pain is a good pain. That pain is pain that your baby is coming, and I don't want that to be taken away from me. That experience of giving birth and feeling my baby be born, I want to be able to feel it. And also I want to be able to feel my contractions so I can have more control over birthing my child, rather than just having midwives tell me, right, you're ready to push now, and them telling me what to do when, rather than me having control over my own body. Also, you have to stay in bed for so many hours after, because you are paralysed from the waist down, so I wouldn't be able to get up and walk. I'd just be stuck in that position. There's a high risk of things like forceps deliveries, fondue and upset. Can't remember what the word's called, I can't pronounce it, but where they cut you, there's a high risk of that as well, because obviously you don't have, well, you have control over your pushing, but sometimes you probably don't push at the time you're supposed to because you can't feel your own contractions. So they're the reasons I do not wish to get an epidural. If I have to have a C-section, then I will be put to sleep to have that done and not have an epidural. Yes, it means I won't be awake to when my baby is born, but I know I'm going to wake up and my baby's going to be there, and I know that sorry, my partner's going to be there and he will be looking after the baby when he's born, so I know he's in safe hands, and as long as he's born safely, that is all that matters to me. It doesn't matter that I haven't seen him be born, as long as they've got him out safely and got me sorted safely and there's no added risks. That's the main thing. If I can, possibly, if I birth naturally, I would like to do it in a squatting or upright position. I did try to do it on my knees with Blossom, but I was putting my bum too far in the air and they said I was going against gravity, so I had to end up doing it on my back, which was awful. So if somebody can hold me, or they've got some kind of birthing chair I can use, then using gravity is my advantage. I feel like it will work for me really well. And I wish for a natural 3rd stage labour. So for those of you who don't know, 3rd stage is where you deliver the placenta. So I would like to not have the injection to deliver my placenta early. I know it can take up to an hour naturally, but that's my bonding time with my baby. And last time I had Blossom, as soon as I delivered my placenta, they were getting me off the bed, getting me straight in the bath, and you know, I'd just given birth, so I think even if it takes an hour for it to come out, that hour is time that I've just got to rest that little bit and bond with my baby a bit before they start saying, come on, get in the bath, do this, do that. So, and not just that, I just I would like delayed cord clamping as well. I want the placenta to not be delivered until my body delivers it on its own. So up until the cord stops pulsating, I don't want the cord to be cut. So it's less stress on the baby, because they naturally, I don't know, with Blossom, they kind of cut it and I think it kind of shocked her a bit. And I'm just all for natural anyway. And so yeah, that's basically what I'd like to happen during my labour. Doesn't necessarily mean it will. It probably won't. A lot of things are probably going to be completely different, but it's nice to have a plan set in place. So if, say, things do go a certain way, or I do get a choice in certain things, I would like to have that choice. Like the staying home as long as possible. With my first, I wish I'd have stayed home longer, because within half an hour of my contraction started, I went straight to 4 centimetres. Like, I went straight to the hospital, because my contraction started every 2 to 3 minutes instantly. So I went straight to the hospital and I was already 4 centimetres, but then I stopped dilating as soon as I got to the hospital. And I think that was because the bright lights, the different environment, I felt like it was more of a stressful environment. That is why my body stopped dilating. So I think the longest I can stay at home, the better, because then my body will do what it needs to do better. More likely, there's an increased chance that I will labour better at home if I can stay at home. Up until, say, I get to a point where I think, right, I need some form of better pain relief now, and I can't deal with it, or if I think I'm getting really close and I need to get to the hospital to give birth, then I'll try to stay home as long as possible. And if I can have the least stressful birth as possible, the more likelihood is that I'll have a natural birth, and it'll be less likely, sorry, I've got such bad acid, that I'll have to have a cesarean, which is the last thing I want, because I own my own business and I'm hoping on starting back work 3 weeks after he's born, and I won't be able to do that if I have to have a cesarean. So being up and mobile as soon as possible would be the best outcome, really. So that's it really for my birth plan. I also hope to stay in hospital for 1 to 2 days, because I am planning on breastfeeding. So obviously, even though I breastfed my first child, I would still like to stay in the hospital, just because every baby's different, every baby feeds different. So if I have any problems with latching or getting him to feed, I know I've got that support while I'm in hospital to help me with that, to get his feeding sort of established and his latch right, so then when I get home everything will be okay. Because I don't want to bring him straight home and then be like, oh, he won't feed, and then be like, well, what do? I can't feed him with nothing. If he won't feed off me, I haven't got any formula. So it's like, I don't want to end up like that. So I will hopefully stay in a couple of days. So yeah, I'll leave it at that. There's not a lot else to go off really. I just thought I'd give an all-round conversation on just my plans of birth and what I want, and that's it really. I will start doing my 37-week vlog now if I can, and I should hopefully get that up today or tomorrow, because I've got somebody bringing a cot shortly, so if I'll have time or not I don't know. So yeah, let me know your thoughts, or if you've got any questions or anything, then just drop it in the comments below, and I will see you in my 37-week update.